Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, today we will move to chapter 10, which is the role of accountants and accounting informations. Okay, so in this chapter, okay, is unfold with the discussions of the accountants and also explanation of the types of accountant in USA business system, which is example like public accountants, private accountants, management accountants, and also forensic accountants. So in addition, this chapter also will discuss about the three basic financial statement, which is showing how they reflect the activity and financial conditions of business, and also we'll cover about the reporting financial statements and also describe how the computing financial ratio can help user to get more information from the financial statement in order to determine the financial strength of the business. And at the end of the chapter, we'll talk about the role of ethics in accounting. Okay, so basically in this chapter, you just follow my slide because I only choose the apa orang kata the subtopic yang include in your syllabus saja. Okay, so you refer from my slide in order you bila you nak start do revisions and start study about this chapter. Okay. Okay, so in this chapter, you only cover part which is what is the accounting and who use the accounting information, and also about the who are accountant and what do they do. Okay, in this part, this cover about the financial versus managerial accounting, certified public accountants (CPA), private accountants and management accountants, forensic accountants, and also the federal restrictions on CPA service financial reporting. This one is not covered. It's only 4 subtopic in this part. Okay, and then next part is about financial statements, where it's about balance sheet, income statement, statement of cash flow, and the budget. Okay, those who are background in accounting, I think you guys are familiar with this financial statements and so on. Okay, so and then is also cover part analyzing financial statements, where they talk about solvency ratio, profitability ratio, and also activity ratios. And then last part is about bringing ethics into the accounting equations. Okay, why accounting, ethics, and so on. Okay, so I think I should start for first slide. Okay, what is accounting? Okay, accounting is in your slide say is a comprehensive system for collecting, analyzing, and communicating financial information. Okay, this is to use to prepare the financial statements and also management reports. Okay, bookkeeping is the recording of accounting transactions. Okay, this because business is engaged in thousands of transactions, so by using bookkeeping is to ensure it is consistent, dependable financial information is mandatory. Okay, and also accounting information system, AIS. This is to an organized procedure for identifying, measuring, recording, and also retaining financial information, which used in accounting. Okay, that can be used in accounting statements and also management reports. Okay, user for accounting information is business managers, employees and unions, investor and creditors, okay, tax authorities, and also government regulatory agencies. Okay, so business manager is used it to develop, they use the accounting information to develop goals and also plan to set the budget and also to evaluate future prospect. Okay, employee and unions use the accounting informations is to plan for and also to receive compensation benefits. Okay, and also for apa, plan for no for plan for wages, benefits, and also yes, it's for compensation lah. Okay, betul lah tu. Okay, next is investor and creditors. This used to estimate. Okay, accounting information is used to estimate returns to stockholders, determine growth prospect, and also to decide whether its firm is good credit risk or not. Okay, this is basically specific for investor. Okay, that's why accounting information ni is also is important for investor to look into the company or organization, whether their financial is strong or not. If strong, they can, is less risk to invest in that particular organizations. Okay, okay. Next is tax authorities. In your slide say that is used to plan for tax inflows, determine the tax liabilities of individuals and businesses, and to ensure that correct amounts are paid on time. Okay, which is if accounting information is, the information is used for bila you nak bayar tax for the company. Okay, so and you know what is the exact amount that you need to pay for your income tax. Okay, whether it is individual or for organization. And the government regulatory agency is really relying on it to fulfill their duties toward the public. Okay, for example audits and so on. Okay, okay. Next is, who are accountants and what do they do? Okay, accountants accountants can stop. Okay, still recording. Okay. Okay, accountants fine. Okay, accountants where tadi okay. Sorry. Okay, I'll start again. Okay, accountant is a controller. Okay, their role is a controller to manage the firm accounting activities. Okay, which is control apa? They are, as a chief accounting officer, they control to ensure that accounting information system provide report and so statements for planning, for controlling, to make decision making and other management activities. Okay, that is the accountant role in organizations. Okay, and then CPA is certified public accountants, where this is offer accounting service to the public. Okay, they are licensed by the state after passing an exam and prepared by the American Institute of Certificate Public Accountants, which is AICPA. So this also provide technical support and also discipline in matters of ethics. Okay, this is accountant licensed by the states on offering service to the public, which is if you have to sit for the exam, in order you will receive the, or in result you will receive the certificate public accountants from the CPA. Okay, certificate from the CPA. Okay, it become a professional accountant. And then which is expert in accounting, sorry. So third is about financial versus managerial accounting. Okay. Financial accounting is, in your slide, said field of accounting concerned with the external user of the company financial information. Okay, this is external, like they apa orang kata, they concern about the external stakeholders like consumers, unions, supplier, creditors, and government agencies. Okay, this is the process that used to generate interim and also annual financial statements. Okay, financial accounting. The result of financial transaction that occur during the accounting period are summarized into the balance sheet, income statements, and also cash flow. So in income statements, this is balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow ni kita termasuk dalam financial accounting. Okay, this financial statement is most company are audited annually by external CPA firm lah. Normally financial accounting ni is concerned more to external. So when they prepare the financial statements, is more detail. The detail is all about the external, like stakeholders, creditors, supplier, and consumer, and so on. Okay. Managerial accounting, this field is accounting that serve internal user for company financial information. Okay, which is same data as a financial accounting, but organize and utilize information in different way. Okay, in different ways, which is the managerial accounting. The accountants generate monthly or quarterly reports for that business management team, okay, that can use to make decision about how the business operates, which is internal use untuk make decision making. Okay, that is managerial accounting. Okay. CPA service. Okay, CPA service. Most CPA firm provide auditing service. Okay, auditing service, tax service, and also management service. Okay, so auditing is examined by the company AIS to determine whether the financial report reliably represent its operations. Okay, audit must follow must follow the generally accepted accounting principle with GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, which at the guidelines governing the content and the form of financial report. Okay, so if you see in the textbook, page textbook is page CPA. Here it's page 515. Okay, it's about CPA. CPA service is provide auditing service. Okay, so it's systematic examination of a company accounting system to determine whether its financial report reliably represent its operation. This is stated in your slide also. Okay, so generally accepted accounting principle, as I mentioned, GAAP. The audit must follow this principle. Okay, this principle ataupun guidelines in order to do auditing lah. Okay, about the content, also the form of financial report. Okay. Okay, and also other service, which is the tax service. Okay, tax service include assistance not only with tax return preparation, but also with the tax planning. Okay. Okay, if you see, refer in your textbook, tax service is page 517. Okay, it's assistant not only with the tax return preparation, but also with tax planning. Okay, which is the service is not only for preparation to a tax return, also they do for tax planning for you. Okay, CPA advice can help a business structure or restructures operations and investment, and perhaps some millions of dollars in taxes. Okay, staying abreast of the tax. Okay, this is what it is lah. The tax service, which is CPA, not only assist you in terms of the tax return, also for planning tax also. Okay, and then CPA service also their advisory as for management service. Okay, which is for management assistance provided by CPA firm in areas such as financial planning, information system design, and other areas of concern for client firms. Okay, this is stated in your slide. So if you see in your textbook, page 1517, is ranging from personal financial planning to planning corporate measures. Okay, and they also apa kata, advise you in terms of the AIS design, and also executive recruitment. Okay, and also sometimes they include engineers, architects, mathematicians, and also psychologists, all whom they available for consulting. Okay, which is they work as a consultant, which is to advise you in terms of the planning, design, and many areas. Okay, the CPA service. Okay, this is emerging competencies for success. Success in accounting. Okay, this this vision, sorry. Okay, this is the CPA vision. Okay, CPA vision for project. Okay, CPA vision project. This vision project is to identify a unique combination of skills, technology, and also knowledge. Okay, this called as a core competencies for accounting. Okay, that will be necessary for the future CPA. Okay, which is include communication, critical thinking, and also leadership. So if you see in your slide, in the table 14.1, imaging competency of success in accounting. Okay, this program, which is established to assess the future of to assess the future of accounting. A prime reason is to project is the determined decline in the numbers of young people who have entered the profession in recent years. Okay, because kebanyakan accountant dulu, they don't have these skills. Okay, to become a successful accountant. So then they come up with this vision project, CPA vision project, where is cover all these skills in order to become a success accountant. Okay, that's why in order to get CPA certificate ni, you have to sit for exam, you have to attend for training. Okay, and so on. So the skills here, what they cover is skills in strategic thinking and critical problem solving. Not only accountant ni kerja dia untuk mengira-mengira je, nak kira balance sheet ke income statement ke apa semua, but also they cover all those things lah. Okay, which is skills in strategic thinking and critical problem solving, communications, interpersonal skills, effective leadership, dedications to meeting customer needs, ability to integrate diverse informations, and proficiency with information technology. Okay, this one you can read your own. Okay, there's the explanations. Okay, next we go for private accountants and management accountants. Okay, private accountants are hired as a salary employees of a firm who perform day-to-day activities. Okay, this is private accountants. Okay, normally what they do budgeting, financial planning, internal auditings, payroll, and also taxations. Management accountants is here state that management accountants is a private accountant who provide financial service to support managers in various business activities within a firm. Okay, yes. Okay, example like manager accountant ni, example like they support in all departments. Okay, like marketing, production, engineering, and so on. Okay, many of the management accountants, they hold the certificate management accountants, which is CMA. Okay, see those yang ada certificate CMA ni, dia is high position lah in organisation as an accountant. Okay, because they have this certificate. So normally those yang ada this certificate, they not only cover specific activities like macam private accountant, like they do budgeting, financial planning tu semua kan, but Management ni, accountant ni they cover all, okay, which is banyak scope, which is marketing, production, engineering, and so on. Okay. Next is forensic accounting. Forensic accounting is accounting for legal purpose. Okay, this is a combination um, of accounting and investigative technique used to discover financial crimes. Okay, so one of the key function of the forensic accounting is to explain the nature of the financial crime to the court. Okay, for example, like macam ada crime, financial crime, this is the function that they have to explain to the court. Okay. Okay, forensic accountant ni what they do analyze, interpret, and also summarize complex financials and the business matters. Okay, so they do, okay, and then okay, they investigate accounting and so on. Okay, so next is certificate fraud examiner. Okay, this CFE is professionals designation administrated by the associations of the certificate fraud examiner, which is CFE, in recognition to qualification to specialty area within forensic accounting. Okay, ni is stated in your slide. So normally CFE ni dia examining in 4 areas, okay, which is criminology and ethics, financial transaction, fraud investigations, and also legal elements of frauds. Okay, so forensic, okay, certificate, okay, that's only about the certificate fraud examiner, CFE. Okay, they have 4 issues that they cover, 4 areas that they cover: criminology and ethics, which is the include theory of the fraud prevention and ethical situation. Financial transaction ni dia examine the type of fraudulent financial transaction. Okay, and the fraud investigation, it pertain to tracing the illicit transaction, evaluation deception ke, or interviewing and taking statements ke. Legal elements of fraud is rules of evidence, criminal, civil law, and the rights of accused and also the accuser. Okay, so financial statement. Okay, financial statement is in the next part, is it? Financial statement. Okay, financial statement is page 521. Okay, financial statement in your slide say that any of several types of reports summarizing a company financial status to stakeholders and to aid in managerial decision making. For example, like balance sheet, income statement, statement of cash flow. So basically, financial statement is a written records, okay, that convey with the business activities and the financial performance of the company. Okay, which is financial statement is often audited by government agencies, accountant firms, etc. Okay, which is to ensure that accuracy and the for tax financing and also to investing purpose lah. That's why kena ada financial. That's why we have to provide financial statements. Okay, so financial statement ni is include balance sheet, income statement, and also cash flow statement. Okay, so the balance sheet is to provide overview of asset. Okay, like for example, asset, liability, stakeholders, equity as a snapshot in time. However, the income statement is focused on company revenues, okay, and also expenses during the particular period. Okay, and then the cash flow statement is we call CFS, cash flow statements, is to measure how well a company generate cash to pay in debt obligations, fund in operating expenses, and also fund investment. Okay, so they have three things that in financial statements. Okay, so balance sheet I already explained to you. Okay, this is the Google balance sheet. Okay, this is how it will look like lah, the balance sheet. Okay, it's figure 14.4.1. Okay, it's a simplified presentation of the balance sheet of the Google Incorporations. Okay, if you see on the left side is you have to put asset, fixed asset, intangible asset. On the right side is liabilities. Okay, liabilities, long-term liabilities, current liabilities. Okay, and also shareholder equity. I'm not going to ask you to apa orang kata kita kena create kita kena buat balance sheet and so on, we have to calculate balance sheet. No, that one you will learn maybe in future semester, next semester, which is financial accounting subject ke. Okay, but here I only explain to you only the basic, the surface of the accounting sahaja. Okay, so in balance sheet they have a current asset, fixed asset, liquidity, and also depreciation. Okay, so asset is any economy resource that a company owned, and from which is that from which it is expect to get some future benefit. That's what we call asset. Okay, asset is some resource that owned by the company. That's called asset. So they have a current asset, fixed asset. Okay, current asset is that can or will be converted into cash within a year. Okay, which is dia punya liquidity tu macam as I said macam M1 kan, yang lagi cepat untuk di convert into cash is M1. Okay, so the current asset include cash and asset that can be converted into cash within a year. This at converting something into cash is called as liquidating. Okay, liquidating or liquidity lah. Okay, kecairan dia. Okay, so asset are normally listed in order of liquidity. So liquidity is the ease of converting them into cash, is liquidity panggil. Kalau liquidity dia lebih senang, lagi ease dia lagi cepat, liquidation dia is included in M1. Okay, that is current asset. Fixed asset ni is okay, jap. Okay, fixed asset is including land, building, equipment that have a long-term use of value. So this accounting use depreciation in order to spread the cost of the asset over the years of its useful life. For example, like macam machine they have the lagi lama kita guna dia akan value dia akan akan ada depreciation. Okay, dia akan jadi lebih, harga dia akan the value akan turun. Okay, they reduce the equal depreciation. So same goes to car. For example, like your company, they have a company car, it belong to the company, but the value will decrease. That's called depreciations. Machine, car, all this fixed asset, they have the depreciations. Okay, next is liabilities. Okay, liability is they have a current liabilities and also long-term liabilities. Okay, liability are debt. Okay, debt that must be paid within 1 year. Current liability is within 1 year. Kalau long-term liabilities is you will the debt is that are not due to the least at least a year lah, maknanya more than 1 year. That's called long-term liabilities. Maknanya you berhutang yang you have to pay jangka masa yang panjang. Mungkin you kena bayar balik loan you tu within dalam masa 5 tahun. Okay, current liability is you have to pay the debt within 1 year. Okay, and then payables. Payable is current liability consistent of bill owed to supplier. and then retain earning is earning retained by the firm, used rather to pay out and as a dividend. Okay, maknanya you have to pay dividend lah, that you let people invest on your company, but apa dia, you at the end of the contract due tu you have to pay dividend to them. Okay, dividend to the investor. Okay, and then income statements. This is income statement income statement, which is a profit and loss statement. Okay, this income statement is in your slide said the financial statement listing a firm annual revenue and expenses, so that the bottom line shows the annual profit or loss. Okay, actually income statement ni is to show the how much is your profit and how much is your loss. It's a show of the annual profit or loss, maknanya tahunan profit and loss. So this income statement is one of the important one of the selain daripada they have a 3 important financial statement, but this income statement is one of the important for reporting company financial performance over the specific accounting period. Okay, because whether they want this statement is to show whether you how much you profit, how much you gain for profit, and how much you lost. So this is the show about the company financial performance. Okay, which is income statement is one of the important statements for the organization to look on. Okay, this revenue, cost of revenue, operating expenses, and net income all included in income statement. Okay, in order you want to know whether you are gain profit or loss, you have to follow the you kena apply this formula, which is revenue minus expenses, then you will know whether you untung atau rugi. Okay, so next is, okay, this is an example of Google income statement. Okay, revenue, okay, this much of revenue, you gross sales lah, maknanya you dapat daripada sales. Okay, then minus dengan cost of revenue. Okay, cost of revenue, they have a gross profit, operating expenses, research and development, selling, administrative and general, and so on. Okay, you have to minus with the expenses, then you will know whether you get the net income tu is berapa. Okay, so basically income statement ni is the bottom line is to report the firm with the firm profit or loss. Okay, so income statement, revenue, cost. Okay, now I explain to you about the revenue. Okay, revenue. Okay, revenue is a fund that flow into a business from sales of the goods or services. Okay, how much you sell your product, okay, is that much is apa yang you dapat in return after you sell your product is called as revenue. Okay, cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold is a cost of revenue. Okay, the cost of revenue revenue section shows that the cost of the obtaining the revenue from other company during the year. So cost of goods sold are cost of obtaining materials that to make the product sold during the year. Contohnya like you cost of revenue is example, you use the material in order to produce a product where you dah ada plan, you produce contohnya dalam masa setahun ni you produce example product. Okay, you nak produce, you ada target sales you lah by this year, by year 2020 your target to sell 100,000 bottle of hand sanitizer. Okay, so you dah ada target. So the cost of revenue is the cost of making the product, the materials, okay, to make the product during the, so maknanya is a cost by in order, maknanya cost you produce hundreds thousand bottles of hand sanitizer. Okay, that's it called as cost of revenues. Okay, and you tahu by 100,000 tu akan habis by a year, so is the cost for that revenue. Okay, and then cost of goods sold, and then operating expenses. Operating expenses is a cost that that other than the cost of revenue incurred in producing a goods or service lah. Operating is which is when you do producing the goods kan, the goods or services, the operation cost tu also, that is called as operating expenses. Okay, of course you kena guna machine, kena bayar electricity, and then you kena pakai oil for operating. Okay, and also packaging, all those things lah, packaging, plastic and so on, we call it as operating expenses. The operation in order to produce apa dia resources that operating expenses is the resources that must flow out of the company in order to earn the revenue. Okay, in producing the goods or service, that's called operating expenses, which is include lah, operating expenses include employee wages, sales commissions, utilities such as electricity, transportation, all those things tu termasuk dalam operating expenses. Okay, next is gross profit. Okay, gross profit is calculated by subtracting the cost of revenue from revenue obtained by the selling the firm product. For example, like revenue, you have to minus the cost of revenues, so that you will get the gross profit. Okay, untung kasar, which is revenue ialah daripada sales you, then you kena tolak dengan cost of revenues you. Okay, then you will get the gross profit. And then operating income is gross profit minus the operating expenses pula. Okay, after you get the gross profit, you have to minus the operating expenses, then you will get the operating income. Okay, operating income is a compare the gross profit from operations against operations expenses. Okay, which is net profit ataupun net earning, is calculated subtracting income tax from the operating income. For example, like in order you nak dapatkan net income ni, you have to minus gross profit minus operating expenses and minus the income tax, then you will get the net income. How much is the income you gained? Okay, or net income, net profit ataupun net earning lah. Okay, which is gross profit minus operating expenses and minus income tax, then you get the net income. Okay, and then this is statement of the cash flow. Okay, financial statement describing a firm yearly cash receipt and cash payment. Okay, this is Google 2010 statement simplified of the cash flow and produced in figure 14.3 in your textbook. Is page page 524. Okay, so this cash flow statement, okay, is measure how well a company generate cash in order to pay debt obligations, fund its operating expenses, and also fund investment. Okay, so this cash flow statement ni is allowed investor to understand how a company operations are running, where is the money is coming from, and how the money is being spent. Okay, so this is the CFS ni tujuan dia. Okay, so the CFL also provide insight to whether a company is on the solid financing footing, okay, which is daripada cash flow statement ni, you can shows whether the company is in the strong financial or not. Okay, so this is allow investor to understand how the company operations are running. Okay, where is the money coming and where is the money being spent and so on. Okay, next is budget. Budget is the detailed statements of estimate receipt and expenditure for a period of time in the future. So budget ni basically tengok bila budget ni is like macam normally we also will ask our friend ke apa, okay, what is your budget, and dia nak beli kasut ke apa. So what is actually budget is apa orang kata is receipt and also expenditure for a period of time in the future, for the future. Okay, so if you see in your slide, this is a sales budget for hypothetical wholesaler, which is Perfect Poster. Okay, nampak tak, Perfect Poster Incorporation. Okay, sales budget, this is sales budget. Okay, January, February, March and quarter. Okay, this quarter. So this is budget for year first quarter 2012. Okay, ni budget orang lah. Okay, next is reporting standards and practices. Okay, reporting standards and practice. Okay, this is this practice and principle cover a range of issues. Okay, so revenue recognition. Okay, revenue recognition is, okay, in your slide said formal recording and reporting of revenue at the appropriate time. Okay, so revenue recognition is a generally accepted by accounting principle, which is GAAP. Okay, generally accepted accounting principle is a recognition by them that to identify the specific condition in which revenue is recognized, and also to determine how the accounts for it. Okay, typically it's about the revenue to recognize when the critical event has occurred and the dollar amount is easily measured to the company. Okay, that is the revenue recognition. Okay, for example, like revenue accounting is fairly straightforward. When a product is sold and the revenue is recognized when the customer paid for the product. Okay, that is called as revenue recognitions. Okay, so next is full disclosure. Full disclosure is this indicate that financial statements should not include just number. Okay, which is they should include management interpretation and also explanation to those numbers lah. That is called full disclosure, which is when you do the report like income statement and so on, you must also include the full disclosure, which is you must include you have to explain, you have to interpret why this number, why you get this number, why you get loss, why you get profit and so on. So you have to interpret and also explain for of those number. That's called full disclosure. Okay, so in order to analyzing the financial statement, okay, they have a various ratios. Okay, which is apa dia, solvency ratio. Okay, financial statement analysis is the process of analyzing company financial statement. Okay, which is for decision making purpose. So external stakeholder use it to understand the overall of the organization as well as to evaluate the financial performance and also business value. So this is in order to analyze the financial statements. So they have various ratio, which is solvency ratio, which is this key metric is used to measure the enterprise ataupun organisation ability to meet its debt obligations, and also to use for prospective business lender. Okay, so this solvency ratio indicate whether company cash flow is sufficient to meet the short or long term liabilities. Okay, so the lower company solvency ratio, the greater the probability that we will default in the debt obligation. Okay, so solvency ratio dah. Profitability ratio, this is financial ratio for measure the firm potential earning. Okay, potential earning, which is apa dia, is a metric that assess the company ability in order to generate income relative to its revenue, ataupun to generate operating cost, balance sheet, or shareholders equity. Okay, so profitability ratio is show how efficiently a company generate profit and value for shareholders. Okay, that is my profitability ratio. And then next is activity ratio. Activity ratio is how efficiently is the firm using its resources. Okay, that's called activity ratio. Okay, activity ratio is how the efficiency with the which firm have used resources. For example, like when annual sales revenue can increase without increase in operating costs. Okay, for example, like that. Okay, next is they have so okay apa dia, next is short-term solvency ratio and also current ratio. Short-term solvency ratio is a financial ratio for measure a company ability in order to pay immediate debt. Maknanya untuk kita kira di mana yang kita kira untuk nak bayar hutang yang terdekat. Okay, yang terdekat lah, yang you need to pay as soon as possible, immediate debts. Okay, so current ratio is the, in your slide said that is a financial ratio to measure a company ability to pay current debt out of the current asset. Okay, which is current ratio is a liquidity ratio that measure a company ability to pay short term obligation. Okay, or those due within a 1 year lah, that's called a current ratio. Okay, this is it tells investor or analyst, okay, how a company can maximize the current asset and on its balance sheet in order to satisfy the current debt and other payables. Okay, that's a current ratio. Okay, so long-term solvency, which is calculated by dividing debt, total the liabilities, okay, and by owner equity. This ratio is to illustrate the extent to which the firm is financed through borrower money. Okay, so kalau kita tengok long term debt ni, debt ni adalah company total liabilities. Okay, how much is your loan lah, is about loan. So the ratio also help to identify how much long term debt business has raised compare its equity contributions. Okay, leverage is a ratio aimed to determine how much of the business asset belong to the shareholders, okay, of the company. So this is the ability to finance the investment through the borrow fund, which is that determine how much of the business asset belong to the shareholder of the company rather than debt holder or creditors. Okay, So next is earning per share. Earning per share is this ratio is calculated by dividing net income ataupun net profit, okay, by the number of the shares outstanding. Okay, this determines the size of dividend that a firm can pay shareholders. Okay, earning per share, maknanya setiap orang dia punya ratio, profitability ratio dia setiap shareholders. Okay, and then next is about okay, this is about the bringing ethics into the accounting equations. Okay, Code of Professional Conduct, which is AICPA. Okay, this accounting ethics, okay, accounting ethics is very important because it's very important, okay, as accountant, because we are the key, like accountant is the key of personnel who access the financial information of individual and also entities. Okay, so such a power also involve the potential and possibility for abuse, the information and manipulation of number is enhance the company perceptions and enforcement and earning management. So ethics is, accounting ethics is important because accountants, they can access the financial information of the individual or the organizations. Okay, so they have to apa orang kata, they have to kena ada apa orang kata certified, they have to ada AICPA code professional conduct lah, must they have to follow this ethics, this code ethics. Okay, we call as AICPA, American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. Okay, this purpose accounting ethics to maintain the public confidence in business institutions or financial markets or the product or service of the accounting professions. Okay, so this code of professional conduct for public accountant in the United States, okay, is to maintain the enforced by the AICPA. Okay, if you see in the page 532, okay, 532 refer to table 15.3. okay, here is a highlight from the codes of ethics for CPAs. Okay, 15.3 actually. Okay, this is the code that highlight from the code of ethics for CPA. Okay, this code professional conduct for public accountant in United States in order to maintain and enforce by the AICPA. So this institute identifies 6 ethics related areas, okay, which is listed in this table, which accountant must comply to maintain the certifications. Okay, which is responsibility as a professional, serving the public interest, maintaining integrity, being objective and independent, maintain the technical and ethical standards, and also professional conduct in providing service. Okay, so the explanation you can read your own. Okay, I think that's all for this chapter. Okay, if you are not clear about this chapter, you can ask me and I will provide you tutorial for this chapter also. Okay, so thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.